Let me describe what an online class actually looks like for most students. You wake up 5 minutes before the lecture starts, you open your laptop in your bed, you turn your camera off, the professor starts talking, you open another tab, you check your phone, you scroll Instagram for a bit, you tune back in and realize that you missed the last 10 minutes. You panic, you tell yourself that you will watch the recording later and you never watch the recording. By the end of the semester, you have technically attended every lecture but remembered almost none of it. And you are somehow more exhausted than you would be if you had physically gone to the class. If that sounds familiar, then this video is for you. And I want to start by saying something that I think a lot of students and adult learners need to hear. If you're struggling with online classes, that does not mean something is wrong with you. Online learning is genuinely harder than in-person learning for most people. And there are real reasons for that, which have nothing to do with your discipline or your intelligence. Today I'm going to give you a complete system for surviving online classes and actually retaining what you learn. And no, I'm not going to tell you to stay focused and take good notes. I'll be talking about an actual system that you can set up today. Now, in addition to the things that I'm going to tell you, if you want to take this a step further, I have a community of students and adult learners who are all going through the same thing. And inside you'll get 24/7 support from me, weekly workshops and Q&A sessions, plus all of the strategies I talk about on this channel broken down into templates and worksheets that you can actually use. The link is in the description. You can try it free for 7 days. And if after 90 days you feel like you have not improved at all, I will keep coaching you for free until you do. So let me start with why online classes is so much harder than sitting in a physical classroom. When you are physically in a lecture hall, your brain gets dozens of signals that tell it this is a learning environment. You walked into the building, you sat in a specific chair, you're surrounded by other people who are also paying attention. The professor is standing in front of you, making eye contact, moving around the room. Your phone is in your pocket or in your bag, and there are social consequences for falling asleep or scrolling your phone in full view of everyone else, right? So online learning strips away almost all of these signals. You're in the same room where you sleep, where you eat, where you watch Netflix, and where you scroll social media. So your brain has no environmental cue that says this is different, pay attention now. The professor is a small rectangle on your screen and your phone is right next to you. Nobody can see whether you are paying attention or browsing Reddit. And there is zero social pressure to stay engaged because your camera is off and you are alone. On top of that, there's something researchers have started calling screen fatigue or Zoom fatigue. Staring at a screen for hours while trying to process complex information is cognitively draining in a much different way than sitting in a physical classroom is not. And your eyes, they are doing a lot more work. Your brain is processing audio and video with a slight delay that creates subtle but constant cognitive strain. And the lack of natural body language cues from the professor and your classmate means that your brain is working harder to interpret what is being communicated. A 2025 study published in Scientific Report reviewed the evidence on Zoom fatigue in university education and confirmed that longer video conferences lead to measurable exhaustion across multiple dimensions, including the visual fatigue, the motivation fatigue, and also the emotional fatigue. Your brain is responding normally to an abnormal learning environment. So the first step is to stop blaming yourself and start designing around the problem. So the system I want to talk about has 6 parts. Let's start with part 1. You need to build a fake classroom. Since your brain is missing all of the environmental cues it normally gets from a real classroom, you need to create a fake one. The goal is to make your brain associate specific space with focused learning even though you are at home. Here's how to do this. Pick one spot in your home where you attend your online classes. It does not need to be a separate room. It can be a specific chair at the kitchen table or a corner at your desk or even a specific side of your bed if that is all that you have. The only rule is that this spot is only for classes and studying. You do not scroll on your phone there. You do not watch YouTube there. You do not eat there. When you sit in that spot, your brain should eventually learn that it means one thing: paying attention. Set up the spot before your class starts. Open your laptop, have your notebook or your note-taking app ready, have a glass of water, put your phone in another room or at least far away such that you cannot grab it, not at your desk, not on silent next to you, in another room entirely ideally. If your phone is within arm's reach, you will pick it up. That is not a character flaw. That is how every human brain works when there is a dopamine source within grabbing distance. If you can, get dressed before class. You do not need a full suit, but changing out what you slept in sends a signal to your brain that the day has started. It sounds ridiculous, but students I have coached who started getting dressed before their online lectures consistently reported feeling more focused and more engaged than when they attended in their pajamas. And do yourself a favor, turn your camera on. I know nobody wants to hear that, but when your camera is on, you are accountable. You sit up straight, you pay more attention, and you're less likely to open other tabs because on some level, you know someone might notice. It is the closest thing to the social pressure of a real classroom that online learning can offer. People in my course and in my coaching always have their cameras on. Now, coming to part 2, I want you to take notes differently than you would in person. Most online students think, I do not need to take notes because the recording will be available. So they sit back, half listen, and plan to go through the recording later and then take the notes. They almost never go through the recording later. And even if you do, watching a 2-hour lecture recording is even more boring than attending the live one. So you zone out during the recording too. Taking notes during the live session is not optional. It is the primary mechanism that keeps your brain engaged. When you are writing things down, your brain is forced to process what the professor is saying. You decide what is important and you translate it into your own words. And that process is also what creates and helps with memory. Without it, the lecture just goes in one ear and goes out the other. But online lectures require a slightly different note-taking approach than an in-person one. And here's what I recommend. Use the split page method. Draw a line down the middle of your page and on the left side, write down what the professor is saying in your own words. Keep it short, keep it brief with bullet points, not full sentences. And on the right side, you write your own reactions, your questions, and your connections. Things like, this reminds me of what we covered last week, or I do not understand how this connects to the previous point, or this seems important for the exam. The right side of the page is what keeps you mentally active. You're not just recording information, you are also responding to it in real time. And that turns you from a passive listener into an active participant, even when you are sitting alone in your bedroom. Every 15 to 20 minutes, then pause for a second and write a 1-sentence summary of what was just covered, ideally from memory. Again, do not look too much at your notes, just write what you remember. And this takes 5 seconds and it forces a micro retrieval that strengthens your memory of the material. And if the professor is moving fast, do this during a natural break, like when they switch topics or they pause for questions. Coming to part 3, engage, even when it feels awkward. One of the biggest losses in online learning is interaction. In a physical classroom, you can raise your hand, you can ask a question, you can have a quick side conversation with the person next to you, or you can participate in a discussion. Online, all of that feels 10 times more awkward. And there is the delay. There is the muting and unmuting. There's the fear of asking a dumb question in front of everyone's little Zoom squares. But engagement is what separates students who learn online from students who just attend online. And you need to find ways to engage even when the format makes it uncomfortable. Use the chat function. If your platform has a chat, type your question there. Most professors appreciate chat participation because they know how hard it is to get students to unmute. If you have a question but you do not want to ask it live, send it to the professor by email right after the class while it is still fresh. That still counts as engagement. If the professor asks a question to the class, answer it in your head before anyone else responds. Even if you do not say it out loud, the act of formulating an answer keeps your brain in an active mode instead of passive consumption mode. And if your course has breakout rooms or group activities, do not be the person who sits in silence. I know breakout rooms are painful, but they can also be extremely fun because most of them, everyone sits there waiting for someone else to start talking first. But be the person who starts to talk first, not because it's fun, but because the moment you start talking, your brain switches from passive to active. And active learning is where all of the retention happens. Now, with part 4, I want you to manage your screen time around your classes. Here's a problem that is very specific to online students. Your classes are already on the screen, your notes are on the screen, your readings are on the screen, your assignments assignments are on the screen. And then when class is over, your entertainment is also on the screen. So by the end of the day, you've been staring at the same glowing rectangle for 10 to 12 hours straight, and your brain is completely fried. You need to build screen breaks into your day intentionally. Between classes, do not stay on your laptop. Stand up, walk around your room, go outside for 5 minutes if you can. Look at things that are far away to give your eyes a break from the constant close range focus that screens demand. During your lunch break, eat away from your laptop. Do not eat while you're watching something. Give your brain 30 to 45 minutes of zero screen time in the middle of the day. This is not wasted time. This is recovery time. It makes the rest of your screen time hours also more productive. And in the evening, try to create at least 1 hour before bed where you are not looking at a screen. I know this is super difficult. I usually manage to do 30 to 45 minutes, but here's what you can do instead. Read a physical book, talk to someone in person, go for a walk. Your brain needs a signal that the day is winding down, and staring at your laptop until midnight does not send that signal. Now, let's talk about part 5. Here, I want you to create structure. In-person students have built-in structure. They wake up, they commute to campus, they go to class at specific times, they study in the library, and then come home. The day has kind of like a rhythm that is created by physical movements between spaces. Online students have none of that. Every part of the day happens in the same room. Classes blend into study time, which blend into free time, which blend into screen time. And there's no commute to signal that the day is starting. There's no walk home to signal the end of the day. Everything just runs together. And by Friday, you cannot tell what you did on Tuesday anymore. You need to create artificial structure. And here's how you can do that. Set a start time for your day and treat it like a real commitment. Even if your first class starts at like 11 a.m., decide that your working day starts at 9 a.m. Use the time before class for reviewing yesterday's notes, preparing for today's lecture, or doing your readings. Having a consistent start time gives your day an anchor. Between your classes, do not just sit at your desk scrolling. Use those gaps intentionally. Even 20 minutes between lectures is enough to review what you just covered or preview what is coming up next. And these micro sessions, they add up significantly over a week. Set an end time too. So decide that after 6 p.m. or whatever time works for you, you are done for the day. You close the laptop and the work will be there tomorrow and you pick it up. Without a clear end time, online students often drift into a state where they are sort of working all evening but not really accomplishing anything, and they never fully rest because they never fully stop. And I also need you to create fake commutes. This sounds weird, but it works. Before your first class, go for a 10-minute walk around the block. I do it with my new puppy. It's amazing. And then when your class ends, you go for another walk. And these walks replace the commute that in-person students take for granted, but they signal to your brain again that the learning portion of the day is either starting or ending. And multiple students I've coached said that this single habit changed how their entire day felt, because before the walk, you also had to get dressed. So you tackled that thing that we talked about earlier. Finally, let's talk about part 6, which is all about fighting the isolation of doing everything alone. Online learning is very lonely, and I'm not being dramatic. It is a real problem that affects both your mental and your academic performance. In-person students absorb information through casual hallway conversations, study groups that form naturally in the library, and the general social atmosphere of being on campus. Online students miss all of that. You need to actively build the social connections that in-person students get automatically. Find 1 or 2 classmates and create a weekly check-in. It can be a 30-minute video call where you go over the week's material together. It can be a group chat where you share notes and you ask each other questions. The format does not matter. What matters is that you have regular contact with people who are going through the same thing that you are. If your form has a discussion form, use it. Not because it's graded, but because engaging with other students' ideas keeps you connected to the course community. Ask questions, answer other people's questions, even typing a short reply to someone else keeps your brain engaged with the material and makes you feel less like you are doing this completely alone. And be honest with yourself about your mental state. If you have been taking online classes for weeks and you feel disconnected, you feel unmotivated, and you feel increasingly isolated, that is not laziness. That is your brain telling you it needs social contact. Call a friend, go see people in person, join a study group, join an online community, which I shared earlier, or a campus club that meets virtually. The academic performance will follow once the human connection is also there. If you want to be surrounded by like-minded students and adult learners inside my community, I will give you 24/7 support. We do weekly live sessions. We do study together sessions. sessions. And you can find all of the strategies I mentioned on YouTube broken down into much more detail. Again, the link is in the description. So let me bring this all together before we end the video. Online learning is harder than in-person learning. And that is a fact, and it's not an excuse. Your brain is missing the environmental cues, the social pressure, the physical structure that makes traditional classroom work, but you can recreate most of those things artificially if you are intentional about it. Build a fake classroom with a dedicated spot, no phone, and turn your camera on. Take notes actively with the split page method and one sentence summaries. Engage through chat, email, and breakout rooms even when it feels awkward. Manage your screen time such that your brain gets actual rest between the sessions, and create structure with consistent start times, end times, and fake commutes. Fight the isolation, please, by building real connections with classmates or community members. You're not at a disadvantage because you are less capable. You're at a disadvantage because the format is working against you. And once you know your way around that, the playing field starts to level out. If you want to learn more about study techniques that will help you retain what you learn in less time, then make sure to check out this next video.